my god, I'm going to go to jail, I'm scared. I was already crying. Welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be a story time. I'm so excited to share this video because it could help someone watch out for potential scams. Guys, if you live in Canada, you're already aware of this popular scam from, I think, you get a phone call of someone pretending to be working for is this CRA? Yeah, CRA, the Canada Revenue Agency. And then they're telling you, oh, you owe so and so in taxes and all of that. So I just moved to Canada this time, and I just got a phone and SIM card. And so yeah, I got a phone call. I just got my number, so I got a phone call from, I don't know, whoever that person was. And it seems like I missed the call, so I only saw the missed call later, and I was like, oh, who called me? Because obviously not so many people had my number, so I figured out the person calling me is definitely somebody who knows me. So that was the first thing that went into my head. So I tried to call back this number, and it took me straight to voicemail, and it was like, oh, dial 1 to speak to whoever, the operator. So I dialed 1, and you won't even believe what happened on this phone call. So on the phone call, I was redirected, and I was redirected to like the phone operator, and they were like,
there is some fraud charges that have been brought against you.
and this time I'm like, fraud charges? How am I being, I don't know, like what is going on? At this moment I'm panicking. Fraud charges? What is up? What have I done? And all of that. So at this moment I immediately called that number back, and I could hear a man's voice on the other end of the phone, and he's like,
hello, this is officer this badge number this. I just want to let you know that we have a file and a complaint against you. You've been trying to evade taxes, blah blah blah, and you will be arrested if you don't make the payment.
And in my head I'm like, evade taxes? Honestly, I had no idea about this. Like, whatever, I was just new to the country. I didn't really know a lot of stuff happening, right? So I start panicking. I'm like, oh please, I don't know any of these things, blah blah blah. Just a side information, right? If you just moved to Canada and you haven't worked there, you have no business with taxes. Okay, you have no business worrying about, oh, I haven't filed my taxes. So you file your taxes if you have worked, if you've received some income from the government and all of that. But this was not my case. Okay, I just moved into the country. This is like literally a week of me being in the country, and I wasn't aware. But I digress. So let's move forward. So obviously this guy is, I'm now like panicking, and he can obviously sense that over the phone, and he's like, okay, we're going
to handle this matter. We don't need to open a case file for you, blah blah blah. You just need to pay the sum of $6,000, which includes your charges for not paying your taxes.
And at this point I'm so tense. Obviously I don't have $6,000 to give. So this officer is like, by the way, we have your address on file. Can you confirm with me your address? And this is me being so naive. I'm giving my address. I'm giving everything. They're like, yeah, we have your address. We'll come pick you up if you don't make this payment. In my head, I'm like, oh my God, how could I have been? I'm like, oh my God, I'm going to go to jail. I'm scared. I was already crying. So this guy, I was already crying on phone while I was with this supposedly officer. So he's telling me, oh, you have to make sure you don't get off this call, because if you get off this call, we're going to sense that you're trying to evade, you don't want to pay your taxes, so we're going to send officers to your residence, and remember, we have your address. All I can say is, oh my God. So he's like, you have to make this payment, and this day was a Saturday, and it was like 5 p.m. and he's like, you have to make payment. I'm like, I don't have that money. He's like, okay, which one do you prefer? You want to go to jail? And I'm like, no. He's like, okay, then go to the bank and figure something out. So this is me. I literally left the house. I was in my pajamas because I was already in bed having a nap. So immediately I jump out of the house. I'm rushing because I live kind of really close to the bank. So I'm rushing to the bank, and I'm like, I got there. This is 5 p.m. I think the bank closes like 5:30 or 6 on the weekends. So I get in there, and I'm like, obviously there's a long line, and I'm obviously crying, and I was still on phone with this officer. He's like, do not get off the phone, because I had no opportunity to call like a friend or anybody to like confirm why I'm being told I'm owing taxes, or I'm evading taxes or whatever. So obviously at this moment I'm still crying on the phone, and my eyes are all like swollen. So I walk up to the bank teller, and I'm like, okay, this is my issue right now. Mind you, this officer told me not to explain my situation to any person, so I was supposed to just pay the deposit. So my intention going to the bank was to see if I could get a loan. Why would I be thinking I'll be given a loan? I don't know. But I went to the bank thinking they will give me $6,000 so I can make that payment. Because all in my head was like, I cannot come here and end up in jail. I guess I was naive at that time. What did I know? Anyways, so I think that when I approached the bank teller, I was still on phone, and so the bank teller was like, okay, are you on phone? I was like, yes, but I'm talking to you. So I was like, hey, can I get some, I'm trying to find out if I can get a loan. And they're asking me like, how much do you need? I'm like, oh, I need like $6,000. And this guy is freaking out. He's like, okay, why do you need $6,000? I obviously, he could see me crying. Like, he's like, okay, what is going on? So I couldn't really explain that, oh, I evaded taxes, or I'm on the phone with the officer. I felt like I was a criminal. So obviously it's already late. The bank is closing. The bank manager is not around to even sign up on such large amounts of money. So at this point, I had to just accept that I was going to jail. I walked out of the bank. All in my head was like, oh my god, I'm going to jail. I started bawling my eyes out, and immediately, you know what guys, my phone went off. At this point, I knew that the officers will come get me at home. So I started walking back all the way home to go, I don't know, to go cry or change my clothes because I was in pajamas. So when I got home, I struggled to charge my phone. When I charged my phone, I was able to call a friend because I knew that, okay, they're going to come pick me up. It's better I call a friend to to let them know where they could come visit me. So I called a friend, and I was like, hey Jane, you know what, I'm going to, she was like, hey, what's happening to you? Why is your voice, why are you crying? I'm like, you know what, I'm going to jail. Oh, these people have told me that blah blah blah, I'm trying to evade taxes and I need to pay $6,000, blah blah blah. That she just started laughing. Immediately she started laughing. She was like, where did they tell you to make the payment? Because the officer on phone told me to make this payment via wire transfer. Like, there was just so much inconsistencies with the whole thing. Obviously I didn't know. Right now it's like I won't even accept a whatever, any call from a stranger. Honestly, I will not. But back then I was so naive. I'm like, oh, these people are calling me, let me find out. Oh, it's the officer. Please guys, watch out for these scams. However, I think that what saved my saving grace was the fact that it was a Saturday, the bank was closed, bank manager wasn't available, my phone died, all this. Honestly, I didn't even have the money to give at the end of the day. So when I got home and I got to talk with like my friends, that was when I was like, oh my god, I'm so stupid. How could I have been so naive about such? So they just told me about, it's like a very popular scam here in Canada. So if you're new to Canada, or even if you're not new, there are people who have been living here for years, people who were born here, that still fall prey to such scams. So guys, watch out. So honestly, when I went back home, I cried. I was so mad, but at the same time I was so happy that at least these people didn't get this money out of me, because I didn't even have the money in the first place. This was supposed to be a loan, which I was like going to make such payments with. But anyways guys, honestly, God takes care of his own. God watches over his children. So no money came out of me. So honestly, I can say this story today and laugh. But back then, I was bawling my eyes out because I sincerely thought I was gonna go to jail. Anyways, guys, this is one out of like so many stories of me being almost scammed or scammed and running the risk of going to jail because of a scam. So guys, if you want to hear more story times, please let me know and I'll be so happy to share with you guys more story times. And if you love this video, kindly give it a thumbs up and kindly subscribe. See you guys on my next one. Bye.